what is something that we can focus is on the Analytics Builder. So Analytics Builder is one of the easiest tool that we have in a Salesforce Marketing Cloud. It gives a very basic information for us. We don't have administration rights. We have some administration, but we don't have like the proper administration rights to this particular instance. When we have an administration rights, we can do plenty of thing in Analytics Builder. And we also don't have this new reporting that has been added. It's called Dataroma. I believe that you might probably be aware that Salesforce has acquired Dataroma, Tableau, and they have also acquired Slack. So they've been keep on like acquiring a lot of them, right? So in Salesforce Marketing Cloud, great. So with reference to the Analytics Builder, so we have a Dataroma. So that is also pretty much easy. So in case if you, Dataroma is not part of the program, but what we can do is definitely once we complete all the topic, we will also be talking, we can also talk about like a Dataroma if everyone is interested, because some of the participants were interested to learn about Dataroma. So I have taken a couple of screenshots from my other account from the Salesforce Marketing Cloud, and then we have also discussed about it. So in case if anyone like interested, let me know. We can also like plan this like a Dataroma session like in the very last stage. Perfect. So talking about the Analytics Builder, so here we have a very generic reports that we have. So let's talk about what's something that we quite frequently use it, and what is something that we also need to aware that what we can fetch from our Analytics Builder. So a lot of people, like even like for the first 2 years, I was also thinking that Analytics Builder is only to pull out the report about the email performance and all of them. So we can do a lot of things in Analytics Builder. So let's talk about, okay, this interface is kind of same like in entire Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So we have this overview, catalog, activity. So here we have this catalog. We have 46 standard templates for email and 4 standard templates for mobile connect and 4 for mobile push and 2 for MC administration and 2 for cloud pages. And we have also a couple of more standard templates for other channels. So there are some reporting catalogs which is missing here. It depends on like what type of like account that we have in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. All right. So in Email Studio, so let's talk about like what's something that we majorly use it. We know the A/B testing part here, right? So we can also pull out the report from my Email Studio also. When I go to Email Studio, when I go to tracking, under the tracking sense, so here also I'll be able to fetch the reports through a job ID. So each and every email that I trigger, or even if I do any A/B testing or anything, so it will create a job ID for me. Under the job ID, I can just pull out the report, and I can also see like what is the performance of each and every campaign that we have triggered. So there are like a plenty of folder structure that we can also create it, and we'll also be able to pull out the report for journey as well. So all the journeys which went live, so it will be something that we can extract from here. So if I go here, if I just open any of the journey, and I'll be able to see all the versions of the journey. So there is only one version for this particular journey. If I click, and I also be able to see like what is the email and how many emails that has been triggered and how many of them queued, how many of them failed. All of this information that we can see, completed, queued, and error, and all of them. So we can also pull out the report from Analytics, like from our Email Studio. But in case if you would like to automate this report, and if you would like to jump into more in-depth analysis, and that's when we use the Analytics Builder. So let's see like a couple of reports here. It's pretty much straightforward, and it's one of the easiest tool in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So if I just try to create an A/B testing summary report for the last 30 days, and or probably I'll just say like for the past 7 days. So there are 2 campaigns. So I believe there are only like a couple of A/B testing campaign which is live right now. So now for the past 7 days, there's only one. So seems like there's only one campaign which is live. And here we have the time zone which we would like to pull out the report, and culture code is nothing but it's a kind of a language, I guess. Yes. And then when we click on submit, that's it. So most of the cases, some of the report will support the graphical representation and some of the report does not. So here, this report, it gives a A/B testing summary here. Some of the report, this summary report will not show for us. Don't think that it's something wrong or something. So, okay, just a second. Let me check if there's a recording. I believe I heard like from a support team, they were facing some issue with the recorded version of the previous session. So I'm checking if this is, yeah, I guess recording to the cloud. Yeah, this is recording. Perfect. So some of the reports, it may not have this, the summary, the graphical representation and all of them. Some of the report does support it. And here we have an email. So when I click on this email button, so it will ask for the file name. Here we have the email address, we have the subject line, we have the note to include in email. That's it. So what should be the file name and what should be the email address that we would like to send it? And what should be the subject line? A/B testing report and something like that. And please find the attached, something like that. And then whichever the format that you would like to send it and click on next. So it will be, the report will be sent to this particular email address. So one thing that to keep in mind when I send out this report, the file size should not be more than 5 MB. If it's more than 5 MB, then we will have to download it from a browser. All right. So there are some domains which it does not support to receive the email like in a huge file size, right? So if it's like 1 MB, 2 MB, then feel free to like send this report to your email address. If it's more than 1 MB, 2 MB, you can just download this file on the from here directly. All right, browser download. And for this browser download also, there is a limitation. So here you can download with a maximum file size of 10 MB. All right, if you would like to download in a browser. So simple, you just give it a file name and then you give the format here, and then you can just click on save, and then this report will be downloaded into your browser and then you can access it. And for downloading, it's a maximum of 10 MB. All right, if it goes more than 10 MB, that's when we will have to use this option called FTP. All right, there are some situations you may not have access to email the report, or you may not have access to download the report as well. The only option is you have to send this report to a FTP. All right, even if it's 5 MB or 1 MB, 500 KB or something like that, some of the organization does not give you access to download these stuff. Now, but some cases, some organization, that's how it works. So here, like we have this email results. Yeah, so we are talking about FTP. So FTP, we are going to be talking about it like in the upcoming session when we come to Automation Studio. So it is also simple. So here we create a file location, and then we push this file to a particular FTP file location. And then from there, we can download the file that we have sent it. All right. So there's a username and password that we have in order to get access to the FTP location. All right. So we use a plenty of applications. There's an application called FileZilla. All right. So this is an application. So in case if you have not installed in your machine, you can also install this machine. It's called FileZilla. So this is the software that we use it. It's a free application, open source. Here we have a host, here we have a username, password, and port number. Once we give and click on Quick Connect, all the folders that we have created in the FTP, it will start reflecting in the right side. So this is your remote location. and this is your system file. You will definitely aware of like how it really works. So this is super cool. So we will be able to also see like in terms of how SFMC works with the FTP and all of them in the automation studio. Perfect. So here we have this different formats. So here we have like only like a certain formats like a CSV and all of them. In Dataroma, we have a plenty of more options. So that's a kind of an advantage that we have with the Dataroma. We can extract the file like in PDF in case if you are going for any presentation or something, you can just also download the entire the reports in a PPT file also. So that's something really good with Dataroma. So perfect. So A/B testing, very rare. We run this report. Accounts in summary, yes. So lot of situations, right? I was working as an administrator for Salesforce Marketing Cloud, like somewhere in 2018, 19, all right. And there'll be a lot of requests that comes from a country manager. I was working for a European-based company, and they have a presence in multiple countries, the organization which I was working, all right? Every country has a separate country manager, all right? So this country manager will be keep on asking me for the reports, all right? So like for Switzerland, how many emails that we have sent, how many opens and how many clicks has been happened so far. So he'll be keep on asking me a lot of like reports, each and every country manager. So that time as an administrator, what I do is I come to my Analytics Builder and I just create the coincidence summary. And then if I run this report from main business unit, I'll also get one more option here. All right. So we call that business as an enterprise business unit, right? We will have an enterprise business unit and business unit is a child business unit. When I run this from a top level enterprise business unit, I also get an option to pick up I won't get an option to pick up. When I extract, it will be downloaded for all the countries. I mean, all the business unit. So I can just extract only for particular country and I can send it to the country manager. So that's something that I can do it. So, so we just pull out the report for the past 30 days or 7 days, and we will exclude the singles. And of course, if we have sent an email to just only one customer, I would like to exclude them for sure, yes. And then if any of the campaign has been suppressed, I also would like to exclude them, time zone and culture. That's it. So this is the only parameter that we have to give it for like most of the reports that we have in Analytics Builder. That's why it's pretty much straightforward. All right. Great. Suppose there are some situations and country manager will ask you, or like your management will ask you, I want this report to be delivered to me like on every Monday or like every first of every month. I want this report to be like delivered to my email address. In the situation, that's when we save this report. We save this report here, click on save. And then here we have the report name. So I'll just say right. So we save this report. And if I go back to overview, so I should be able to see this report here. And now if I just go to, so here I have an option to schedule. So here I can just schedule this like from here directly, or like in the previous screen also, I will also have an option to schedule it. So suppose if I need to like schedule this report from first, so that's what the country manager request is, like from like when it has to be started from 1st of March, and I can also give a time and time zone. And yes, of course, this needs to be like repeated like every month, right? So monthly once, and on first day of every month, or first day of first Sunday, first Monday, something like that also I can give it. So it depends on what is the request that we get and how long does the report needs to be like running. So for like 2 years, something like that. And then what is the format that we would like to send it? And then when we just click on save, and then we will be like keep on sending this report to this particular email addresses that we include. So we can include multiple email addresses here. So all of this report will be sent to this stakeholders on 1st of every month. So this is something we can automate, and we have an option for saving this report to a FTP. All right. So this is also really helpful. So let me tell you like how this is helpful. There are some situations that we may have to send this report to analytics team, right? Example, Google Analytics team or Adobe Analytics team, or like anyone, they may need the data from a Salesforce Marketing Cloud, like how many customers opening, clicking, and all of them. So what we say is we cannot send this data directly to SFMC, to analytics team, unless we do this API integration in real time, right? So what we do is we send this report on a daily basis, and from an FTP analytics team, we will share the credentials with them, or we will just create the external FTP server. And then we will register that external FTP location to SFMC. And then we pick up that external FTP location here. And then we send the report to the, we will send this report to the external FTP location. And from there, analytics team can pick up, and then they'll be able to create their reports, like everything from the end. So we will make sure that we send this report on a daily basis or weekly basis. So this is how also like we can also use the analytics builder to send this report to an analytics team. Perfect. So this is something that we quite frequently use it. And we have a plenty of them. Attribute by tracking. So this one, attribute by tracking, even displays how your suspect reacted to a certain emails and based on a specific tracking event and a particular attribute. So this tracking attribute by tracking event is something when we have this customized tracking that we have placed in the email template. Suppose if we have any like a tracking pixel that is being added to the CTA button, or like somewhere in the email template, there are some cases we have forms in the email template directly, and when customer clicks on it, we consider them as a conversion or the new lead is being generated. So in those situations, we can run this report when we have this customized tracking pixels being implemented in the email template. And this too often is something not enabled for us. And anyway, this discovery report is being expired. I mean, not expired. I mean, what to say? It's retired. So it's retired from Salesforce Marketing Cloud, and we don't use this discovery reporting anymore in Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So discovery report has been replaced by Datorama. So we have a campaign job tracking, and all of this is all related to the campaign that we have seen in the very first session, right? And we can create a campaign here. And if you would like to pull out the report based on campaign name or a campaign like related to the campaign, and this is something that we can use it here. And this is very rare, very rarely that we use it. We have a plenty of them. Yeah, this is also something that we use it also like very rarely. This complaint rate for top 15 domains. All right. So when we have the subscribers, so in the Salesforce Marketing Cloud account, we have like only like some few subscribers, probably 600, 700 subscribers is what we have in this account. When I talk about actual organization, you may have like some crores and crores of data in your Salesforce Marketing Cloud. I can see like only 700 customers that we have like in total for this instance. We have a crores and crores of data. All right. In case if you would like to understand which is the worst performing domains of all time, like from this entire crores and crores of subscribers. So you can run this report, and then you will be able to figure out which all the 15 domains which has been keep on reporting your email as a spam. All right. And this is something that you can run it. And this is just to give you insight. All right. And what is something that you can also take an action it. So let's say like you have like a plenty of domains, all right? You have a Yahoo, you have a Gmail and all of them. So let's say that it gives you insight, but you have to manually do an action after you do your analysis. Suppose, let's say you have like 100 subscribers here, and you also have 100 subscribers here. Out of 100, like 80 customers have marked you as a complaint, and here it's like a 10%. All right. So you know this 80 customers and 10 customers has reported, like from Gmail, we know this, we will come to know this two of this number, like from this running this report, right? But you will have to figure out how many customers that you have in Yahoo domain. You have to run a query, and then you have to figure out how many subscribers that you have in this email address, like Yahoo domain, something like that. And then you cross check. Okay, so if it's like more than 70%, 80%, then you can exclude this domain completely. All right. So in Email Studio, and if you go to an admin, I believe that we don't have this option. I'm sure. Sender profile, delivery profile. Yeah. So there will be one more option called domain exclusion. So here we can exclude the domain directly from Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Example, we just have to say @yahoo.com, and that domain will be automatically excluded at the time of sending the email. All right. We can also exclude the domain. We can also exclude the IP address. So IP address is something like if, like what to say, each and every organization will have this certain IP range, right? And you can also add those IP ranges here, and those IP ranges will be excluded from the email sending, right? If it exists, they will be excluded in the email, right? So that's something that we can also do it, but we need a, this needs to be enabled from Salesforce, all right? So this is not the default setup that we get in Marketing Cloud. I know that this two of this option is not there because it's not enabled for this account. All right. So this is how this report helps us, and we also have some bounce reports for finding out the bounces, reports for finding out the complaints. So we have a plenty of default standard reports that we have here, and device performance. So this is also very rarely we use it now, since we have the data Roma, so we don't run this report anymore. So here we'll be able to figure out the device performance, like a mobile, desktop, laptop, tablet, and all of them. But we will not be able to break down a devices like is it like iPhone, or is it like a Samsung, or is it like a Nokia, and what is the screen, and what is the OS, something like that. We cannot do it. So that's a kind of also limitation that we have with this analytics. So device performance meant only the whether it's like a smartphone or whether it's a desktop, something like that. So email message frequency, email performance by attribute. Yeah, plenty of them. So what's something that we also quite frequently use it is email performance by domain. Yeah, same as this one gives a top performing domains, and the other one, yeah, delivery. This one gives you the worst performing domain. All right. So this one, and then what else we use it is microsite. We have the different reporting for Cloud Page. So we don't usually like use this one. Very, very rare. There are some reports which I never like used in this like 6 years. We never ever use it. Most of the time, like since now we have the data Roma, like everything that we can like fetch from a data Roma, that's also like super fast. I never use like Analytics Builder because I hate this tool like specifically personally, because it's gives like a very, very basic information for us. There are some reports which is really useful. Recent region performance, send classification, sendable data, performance over time, compliance, subscriber management, subscribers not sent. Yeah, this report sometimes it's very useful if you are an administrator. All right. So one thing to keep in mind, in Salesforce Marketing Cloud, the majority of the cost that occurs is based on the number of subscribers that you have in your account. All right, 737 is the subscribers that you have. And you will always have a limitation whenever you renew your account every year. Suppose you have a 737 this year, and next year, if you have 1,000 added extra, and so 1,737, then you pay more to Salesforce because your subscriber has been increased. And the next year, if it's been keep on growing, and you pay more to Salesforce when your subscribers keep on growing. All right. And you also pay to each and every license that you have. So this comes under a package: Email Studio, Journey Builder, Automation Studio, and Web Studio. This all comes in one package. Most of the account will have all of this option. If you need, Analytics Builder also comes by default. If you want Advertising Studio, Social Studio, Mobile Connect, Mobile Push, that's when you need to buy a separate license. All right. So that's how the Salesforce Marketing Cloud increases. So since we pay a lot of money to Salesforce we pay a lot to Salesforce based on subscribers that we have. So there are so many organizations which will have the subscribers like an idle. They will not send out the email to them, but they'll just be there in the system. So it's just like a waste of money for organization, right? So you can run this report to figure out which all subscriber who has not received single email from the day that they have been added. All right. So if there is a customer added like 4 years back and they have not received any email, I don't know, like what is the point of keeping them in a Salesforce Marketing Cloud? So I'll delete them. So that's something that we can do it by running out this report. And here also we have something, this is also very useful, subscriber engagement. And you have 1 crore of customers in your database. All right. Out of this 1 crore of data, how many of your subscribers are really engaging with your email? So one customer, if I'm sending an email, they may not open. If I continue to send out a couple of emails, then they may probably like in future open an email, right? They may engage at any point of time. If they have not engaged like at any point of time, then there is no use of keeping them here. So I'll also delete them. All right. So for deleting, it's a different process. It's not, we cannot delete it directly from all subscribers. That's not a best practice. We also have some process in Contact Builder to remove the subscribers on a regular basis. So that's something we're also going to be discussing in the future. And then unengaged subscribers for a list. This is with reference to the entire subscribers, and this is with reference to a list. And yeah, this is something that we quite frequently use. The most important, if you are an administrator, then you will definitely need to understand, and you may probably run this like quite frequently, right? Apart from this, everything like given, this one is like a very straightforward, so we don't need any like a particular like a special training or something to run or export this report. We just have to give a range, and here we have pick up the all subscribers and percentage of subscribers to display. So this is like what to say, like you can tell like how many percentage of subscribers that you would like to display. So here it's only 10%. It depends on, like you can also say like 100% or 70%. And then you also can say the received threshold, like a 4, minimum 4 emails these subscribers should have received your email. All right. So that's a threshold that we have here. So if you say like a 1, it may not really give you impact. Probably like you might have sent an email yesterday, and then if you keep it as a 1, so it doesn't really make sense. You can keep it as like 4 or 5. All right. So, and then that's it. When we just click on submit, and then this report will be created. And then based on it, we can take an action, which subscriber to keep it and which one to remove it. All right. And then we have for Mobile Connect, everything is pretty much same. So we have a quite interesting reports here in 2 of this. One is a contact. The report can be provide data held within Salesforce Marketing Cloud for an individual contact. Okay, I never use this portability report, but as an administrator, I always run this report on a monthly basis. Sometimes I also run it on a weekly basis. I'll tell you why. as an administrator, why it's really important for me. All right. So Salesforce Marketing Cloud, right? It is really good that we do a lot of customization and everything. The thing is, it also allows the users. We cannot restrict the permissions for all the users, right? So what some of the Marketing Cloud users, like what they will do is they will upload some customers into a Salesforce Marketing Cloud, into a data extension, and then they send out the email. Right. So that's not at all a best practice. What one of my colleague has done it, he has purchased some contacts from one of the vendor, and then he has uploaded all the contacts into a data extension, and then he has sent out an email. All right. We never ever do that, because we send out to the email to the customers only if they have been subscribed to get an email or SMS communication or so and so. But what this one of my salesperson, what he has done it, so he has acquired some leads, and then he is imported, and then he has sent out an email. So I run this report on a weekly basis. So there's a report that comes to me, and this report also, I run it on a top level business unit. It's very simple, as we have seen it further. So we just have to keep the time range. If I run it from a top level business unit, it will tell you what is the account that is the number of accounts that is being added for each and every country, like every child business unit, like every week. I saw like suddenly the huge spike, like 7 lakhs of customers being added into SFMC from a Taiwan business unit, and we reached out to them, and then we want them, and we removed the access to them, and we take an action like how it's really impacted the business, right? And organization. So that's how, as an administrator, it helps you. And this is like something we run it as an administrator. We run it like always to keep in track of how many subscribers are being added. So this also like helps you to like what to say, like give you insight for renewal. So whenever we do a renewal, like every year, right? And we also have to tell the Salesforce, okay. So yeah, this report is super useful. So when we especially run it like for especially run it like to understand how many subscribers are all of them, super useful. Okay, let's see like what is this portable. Okay, I think it gives the profile attribute values that we have for this particular subscriber. Yeah, so it just gives the information about this particular customer, subscriber ID, how many total number of senders, like a 23, the total number of openers, 13 totally, and then 6 opens, unique opens. So it gives like the entire information about this customer. Yeah, as I told, like it also gives the attribute informations and also the attribute value of a particular subscriber. Yeah, this is cool. Perfect. So this is what that we get from contact. So what is something really important is this number of contacts that is being keep on growing. That's very important. And Journey Builder also like in Journey Builder, we have the Google Analytics, which has been automatically implemented in Salesforce. I mean, Google Analytics and Salesforce has some partnership, and when we run a campaign in Journey Builder, it also gives the stats like in the Google and in the Journey Builder directly. All right. But in case if you would like to pull out the detailed report, like you may have a multiple versions that you might have created in Journey Builder. So we are going to see like how multiple versions that we can create it. So those versions, if you would like to report, and then if you would like to fetch the detailed information, and this is the best place to put that information from. Right. So when this may be not really like a super important at this point of time, but what I sometimes find it like very useful is there are, okay, I think I don't have administrator. That's why it's not able to, that's why it's not taking me to this administration access. So, what to say? So we have a TLS, right? I don't know. I also really, the Salesforce, right? In general, Salesforce will be keep on upgrading their versions in order to keep the system like a super safe. Example, now we have a multi-authentication factor that needs to be enabled for all SFMC. Like we have to give the username password, and at the same time, we also need to be authenticating by one more method. All right. It has to be like a two authentication is mandatory for all the Salesforce Marketing Cloud account from this year. All right. So what Salesforce will also be keep on doing is they will be like keep on upgrading the versions for TLS. They will also update the versions for SOAP or also for REST, whatever the API integration and whatever the previous encryption system that we have been using, right? Salesforce will be keep on upgrading in order to keep the system like a properly encrypted. So what happens is, when did I really use that report? Salesforce has rolled out the new update that it's going to be updating from TLS, I think like a 1.2 to 1.3 or something like that. And then some of the external system that we have connected, it keeps sending the data to us. All right. It usually keeps sending to one of this, the previous versions that has been retired. So that doesn't support anymore. They have sent out the information to us, but we didn't like really care about it. And suddenly the system is stopped getting a data from external platform. And then what I have done is the support team told me to run this report from here. And when I run this report, I can easily figure out which all the system is running under the TLS 1.2 or 1.1. So from there, it gives you a clue to tell the system, okay, this is not something that we have to do from our side. So this is something to be taken care by the external system. So we have to tell, guys, you guys are using the 1.2 version. In order to send the data to SFMC, you need to upgrade it to 1.3. So, and we also be able to see like which suppose I don't have access to this MC administration, and then I keep on trying to access, and then system is not allowing me to like access this two of these reports, right? I can also pull out this report who has been trying to access like which all studios and which has been blocked for them, and all of this, the permissions issues, right? And everything I can pull it from my MC administration. There is something called SOAP. There's some report called SOAP administration. From that report, I can pull out the report. I can also understand which users does not have, or which users have been trying to access a particular tool, and if they have been granted or declined. All of this information I can pull out from this report. Very, very rare case we use it, but it's something it's something that we don't use it like quite frequently. Perfect. I think like we have covered like all of it. I'm checking like if there's anything that we have missed out. Yeah, I think pretty much it. So as an administrator, so what is something like really important is to have the accounts and summary report, which needs to be keep on running. And you also please always keep an eye, like what is the number of email that each and every country is sending on an every weekly basis. And if you see any like suspicious number of increase, then you can just talk to the country manager and figure out what went wrong and something like that. And also the account, the number of account that is being increasing, right? So that is also something that we can check. Perfect. So now, so there's not much to talk about. Analytics Builder is pretty much easy. So since we have like some more time, so I'll just take this time to talk about how we can delete the contacts. for my Salesforce Marketing Cloud. All right. So that's some best practice that we have to do it like once in a year or twice in a year. But in my organization, I have set this process to have this implemented every year, once in a year. All right. We also created some a sheet where we follow like what is a new upgrade that is going to come. And we also keep an eye on what all the external system has been using, what is the version they are using, and what is the method of authentic encryption. Everything I keep a track on this separate sheet. And then every year we review it. Like, are we deleted the unwanted customers, subscribers, and have we informed the third-party system to upgrade their TLS version? And we also check. We also encourage the third-party system, right? We have something called install package. All right. When we create an install package, it creates a client ID, client secret, and authentication keys, basically. All right. We also encourage each and every integration to change this authentication key every 1 year. All right. So there are best practices that we do. And one of this best practice, deleting the contact, is what we are going to see. So, and it's not something that we have to do it. It's not a mandatory step. And there's also a lot of risk in deleting the contacts. So there's a lot of process that we have to do it. So I'm just giving you a heads up how we can delete it. For deleting the process, right, we have plenty of complications because it's not so easy to delete a contact, because an organization might have spent some lakhs and probably a lot of money to generate all of the subscribers, right? So we cannot delete them like from system simply. So, okay, I'm in the wrong tab. When I go to all tabs, so here we have all of these customers. So this is nothing but all subscribers that we have, whatever that we have seen under the all subscribers, right? The same set of customers is what we see here. So this one is for Mobile Connect, and this is the number of customers that I have for Mobile Push, and for email I have 737. So what I saw here is only the email subscribers, 737. So 737 here, and here we have like 11 customers who is only for Mobile Connect. All right. So in Email Studio, it shows only the set of subscribers that I have for email. Perfect. And now how we can create the deletion, right? So I can come to the mobile list. Here I can create either a mobile list, mobile connect or mobile push. I can create any of this channel. So we are going to be using the filter list. Let's click on OK. Here we are going to use all contacts. So there's a lot of attributes that is being created. So there are plenty of attributes we have. So in real time, if you see a Marketing Cloud instance in our organization, we won't have these many attribute groups, because this has been created by the users for testing purpose. All right. So what we will see, like only like the first 5, what we have in this list. We will have a system, all of this 5 of them. So now let's create a logic to delete the customers. Okay, so right now in my organization, I have only Email Studio. All right. That means we are not sending the mobile push notification. We are not sending out the SMS also. All right. And I use only Email Studio. That means I send out only email campaigns to my customers. In the situation, if I don't have any customers who does not have an email address, I want to delete it. So what I do is I come to this all contacts, I go to system data. In the system data, I go to email address. So drag and drop them, email address field. So this is something which has been there already. Here you say, if email address is null, I would like to save this as a particular filter. Then save as a filter. You simply say email is null and then click on save. And then it will tell you, this list will tell you how many number of subscribers that you have in this CRM without email address. So out of 737 customers, 153 customers does not have an email address. And it's now your call and your management call to decide whether you need this 153 customers or not. If they tell you to delete it, we cannot delete from here. What we have to do is, yeah. Contacts. In the mobile list, so what I have created is email is null. Yeah, this is a one. I don't see an option to delete. This will just only delete the list. But in order to delete the entire usually it shows me an option. Maybe it could be because of an administration rights. So in the top right corner, right, it will have an option to delete this entire list or delete the list and also the contacts associated. So that is something that I can also see, but for me, it doesn't show because I may not have this administration rights to this instance. All right. So how it shows is like if I click on this, here it shows delete selected contact. All right. So the same way it will show you for your mobile list as well. So when I click on delete, so when I say like a delete, it will start suppressing from a account level, and each and every channel it will be suppressing. Audience Builder, Email Studio, everywhere it will start suppressing. And it depends on what is the timeline that we have set. So there is something called contact configuration. Here we have this contact delete. By most of the account by default, it will be off. So if it's off, okay, now it says I don't have authorization to do it. So this option needs to be enabled. That's when we can delete it, all right, under the contact configuration. And when you enable it, it will also ask you to set the timeline, how long the system should take to delete the contacts. And you can say 7 days, 14 days, something like that. If you say 7 days, it will delete all the contacts that you have selected, like in 7 days, right? So that's something we will have to set it up in the contact configuration tab. All right, so like this, you can create also more filters, like contact, email address is null, phone number is null, mobile push notification device is null. So if everything is null, you just delete this contact. So it's no use to keep them in Salesforce Marketing Cloud, right? So that's something that we can do it. So this is about the because in general, what we do is whenever we trigger an email, right, we will have a data extension to have all the customer who has been hard bounced, right? We keep all of them. Let's imagine that between time customer comes to profile center and updates the email address, and you did not include this bounced customer's email address, then the customer will definitely get the email address. So it depends on how we have this exclusion, the list that we have at the time of sending. So it needs to also be keep on updated. Perfect. All right. I think we have done with the email studio. We also done with the analytics builder. So we will start with the new topics. I'm also I tried accessing this mobile push. For some reason, due to some permissions, once this issue is fixed, we will also be able to see the administration part here, like how you can integrate your application to Salesforce Marketing Cloud. So there's a plenty of work that we I mean, not plenty of work. From a Salesforce Marketing Cloud, it's very simple to integrate a Android or iOS application into the SFMC. But there's a lot of work that a developer has to do it. iOS or Android developer has to do it. But that's something that we are going to be discussing in very much detail. But because we don't have a proper access, I cannot Web Studio or like Journey Builder will start with. And so we have like a couple of more topics which will be on a campaign execution side. Journey Builder is going to be on campaign execution, and Mobile Studio is going to be on campaign execution. After this topic, everything is going to be on a more into a technical level. Let's say like automation, and we'll also see like API side. We will also do an integration from Sales Cloud to Marketing Cloud. So in the second half of the program is going to be more into a technical side.